Hey, what's up guys? It's Christopher Ratton, owner of Ballahack Airsoft, and this is the Revelation 6 discussion video. Revelation 6 is on December 12th and December 13th. That is actually just over a week from today. It's getting close, we're getting extremely excited. It is $60 for one day or $90 for 2 days. That price covers full admission, it covers free drinks all day, it covers gameplay food, it covers as much pizza as you can eat after gameplay, and it covers your raffle ticket. We have got a lot of awesome sponsors for Rev this year. We have Classic Army, G&G, Crytek, Umarex or Elite Force, and we have Valken, all who are giving awesome prizes. I can't wait to see who wins them. So what is Revelations? Revelations is Ballahack Airsoft's annual post-apocalyptic event. It's basically a twist on Fallout or any kind of post-apocalyptic-y thing. Game, movie, just kind of meshed into one. It's a beautiful thing that happens because it attracts people from all over the country and it is a player-driven event. Now I must warn you first and foremost, this event is not for everyone. This is not a super Milsim event. This is not an event where there's super structure running throughout it. A leads to B, B leads to C. It's not like that. It's something where we've enabled the players to act organically, to build up meaning in what's going on, ultimately leading to them pew-pewing their airsoft guns. So, it's a hybrid role-playing / fun shoot-'em-up event. There will be periods of time where not much is going on to the eye. There's no massive firefights or anything like that. Everyone's traveling, they're gathering information, they're trading, they're building alliances. And then suddenly, a firefight will erupt with 300 or 400 people. It gets absolutely crazy out there. Revelations is a game that if you looked at on paper, it absolutely should not work. Anyone can kill anyone else at any time. There are community respawn points all around the land. People are constantly re-entering gameplay. People are constantly looting each other. It just kind of shouldn't work. You'd think it would be too chaotic, but it's the players that make it. It's the players that change the direction each time. We've been refining that every year, from Rev 1 all the way to Rev 6. How do we give the players more and more power to where we don't tie their hands, but we also make it more interesting for them? This year, we've super boosted up our role players. We've boosted up role player missions that they'll be giving out to where there are multiple parts and pieces and have more meaning to it. We're boosting up our processing system, which is going to be awesome. And the storyline is pretty unique. At past Revelations, it was really unknown what happened to the world. There definitely was a nuclear apocalypse. Nobody knew the exact timeline and what was going on because so little information was given from different people. This year, the story is about a compound that was designed to keep out the fallout from the rest of the world. It's not a vault, but it's similar to that. So this community has been living inside the Ballahack compound facility for 150 years. Finally, their power is running out, their food supplies are running out, their water supplies are running out, and they can no longer keep the dirty air out. So this year, they have decided we need to freeze ourselves. They estimate that there are another 30 years before the air is clean on the outside. And they freeze themselves. So when you show up to Rev this year, at least on day one, you will be briefed one final big, I love you family, I hope we survive on the outside kind of a thing, and then you'll be frozen and then sent into the waste to survive on your own because you have a better chance 30 years from the day you guys show up. It's going to be very interesting and we've got a lot of cool stuff planned with that, so just be ready for it. Revelations, it kicked off big. People love the post-apocalyptic feel. People love the ability to make decisions for themselves. With Rev 2, we had 3 separate tribes, basically, 3 separate clans that people could join, or they could choose to be an outside wastelander. With Rev 3, 4, and 5, everyone's a survivor. Nobody is on set teams, and there are role players that you can interact with. But we want it to be about the players making the actual substance of the game come together. At Revelations 4, we had over 400 people the first day and almost 300 people the second day. At Revelations 5, we had 640 people the first day and like 380 people the second day. Our normal events have 2 different phases throughout it because people get tired, exhausted, they need to reload, all that kind of stuff. Rev is not like that. Rev is a single, all day, basically right till dark event. So you really need to kind of be prepared. You want to pack light, you don't want to have too much stuff on you, but you also need to keep all of your stuff on you. You're allowed to stage out of your vehicle, but you are not allowed to stage inside the staging facility because at Revelations, we transform that into the processing facility. Plus, it also takes a lot of space to process, 600 people at the same time and try to get it done within an hour and a half time span before briefing. What can you expect from Rev 6 this year? Let's say you've never been to a Revelations game and you just show up out of nowhere. Make sure that you're in kit. Make sure that your clothing and apparel is proper. We do not want you to go for super Gucci, SEAL Team 6, DevGru CAG, door kicking guy. We want you to go through Survivor. Watch movies like Mad Max, Book of Eli, anyone in Fallout, that kind of look, a grungy survival look. It could be as simple as wearing jeans, a hoodie, and a backpack to carry your stuff in. It really can, guys. So please don't go full military kit. If someone's wearing BDU pants or just a BDU top and it ties into their kit well, that's fine. But this is not the game to go super Gucci. Hopefully all of you get that and understand it. So you show up, you will be parked. We ask that all of you carpool as much as possible so that we don't have to stack like 10 cars on top of each other, which we've had to do in the past. We don't want to do that. You will then go through processing. Now, processing is not like a normal game out here. It's literally like a containment facility. So once you leave your vehicle to once you go inside, you really should have everything on you that you need. You'll be directed in, you can get store items inside, then you'll be pushed through. There will be a pre-reg line, and there will be a walk-on line if walk-ons are allowed. Right now, currently, the numbers are looking great, but it doesn't look like we're gonna consider capping it off. Plus, we've never capped off a rev, just because it can handle the players with the gameplay. After which point, you will be directed through another area of the facility, and we will be taking everyone's pictures there as you process through it. Then you will go to chrono, you will get chronographed by our marshals and everything, then you will get your bottle caps, and then be ushered to the holding area, which can fit a lot of people. This is what it looks like. After which point, because of this specific game, you guys will be briefed, and then you will be sent through a cryogenic freezing chamber and then released 30 years from now. 30 years into the future, out onto the field, and you're out there all day. We ask that you guys have everything you need out there all day and only return to your vehicles if it's an emergency, just for the immersion of gameplay. Once you are in gameplay, it's basically up to you. It's really, really interesting to see what happens, because everyone's like, oh, I'm gonna shoot everyone, and they get out there and their humanity kind of kicks in, even though it's just a game, and they're like, well, I don't have a reason to shoot that guy, so I'm just gonna build a shelter and do this, that, and the other until reasons pop up. And that's the fun thing about Rev. The reasons massive firefights form and happen isn't because it's like your red team, your blue team fight. It's because these guys shot some little kid, looted him, and then they did it again the next time, and you're like, hey, don't do that, and they're like, this is our turf, you have to pay us to be here, and then it becomes this whole huge thing, and then you have hundreds of people fighting, and it's pretty cool. There's also a lot of interesting characters that players have made themselves on top of role players out on the field. Role players are marked a certain way, which we're not telling you right now, that will be visible on the field. They're invincible NPCs. They may have weapons on them, but they cannot be killed. Do not shoot a role player. They're there for the quality of gameplay for you, and they will always be there to give you quests, give you a way to earn more bottle caps, and give you a way to find unique missions around the land. Killing other players. Guys, we made Revelations, as of 2 years ago, we made Revelations a semi-auto only event, unless it's with an actual support weapon. Plus you can't fire full auto within 30 feet. So there's a lot of close engagements that might happen. Firefights will erupt from your group of 40 guys standing next to another group of 20 or 30 guys, and everyone shooting each other point blank. That's allowed in this game. It gets crazy. Therefore, you need to be firing on semi-auto only. So just keep that in mind, and don't freak out when you find out about that here. Just remember that, tell your friends, semi-auto only. When you're dead in Revelations, you guys, you have a 2-minute bleed out. During the 2-minute bleed out time, someone can loot you. Looting should be a very gentlemanly exchange. Someone comes up to me, they're like, hello, good sir. I'm like, hello, how are you? And they say, what do you have on you? They're allowed to loot up to 10 bottle caps, of which all of you will be given at the beginning of the day, or 1 gameplay item. Gameplay item does not mean your super expensive GMP whatever gun. You cannot take other people's personal stuff. However, everyone should be bringing 3 gameplay items like a wool blanket or a pot or a pan, something like that. Anything, any junk you have, bring as much as you want, because it will be valuable out here in trade on the field. I didn't say, oh, I have this super cool taxidermied armadillo. And he's like, well, I want that. And I'm like, okay, here you go, bro. And he takes it and he leaves. That's allowed if it's a gameplay item. That's how looting should go down. Don't lie and say you have something just because it's really valuable to someone else on the field. If it's a gameplay item, they're allowed to take it. So keep that in mind. Plus, with a lot of role-playing guys, you really need to remember, take it easy. It is just a game, so keep that in mind when you guys are out there. Once you bleed out for 2 minutes, you can choose to go to a spawn point. Community spawn points are designated by red tape all around different areas of the field boundaries up against the yellow caution tape, which designates field boundaries, which no one is allowed to cross. So keep that in mind. You go to that red tape area and you wait for 3 minutes, touching the tape, and then you're back in gameplay. Do not spawn camp. Do not intentionally get shot and heal just so that you can shoot someone from that position. You should wait till you're at least 75 feet away from that area. You're moving on to a different place before you kind of re-enter gameplay. It's a very fluid and organic thing that happens, and everyone is surprisingly good at doing it. So I want to make sure that you're good at doing that as well. Don't spawn camp, don't be a jerk around it, and just keep flowing back into gameplay. Find a new situation, find a new group, make new friends. So if you don't want to go to respawn, you can use stim packs. Stim packs are small syringes that have 1-minute timers on them. To heal someone with a stim pack, you set it to 1 minute, you hold it to the person, you hit start. Once the timer goes off, that player is then back in gameplay. The interesting thing about stim packs is they cannot be stolen. They're also only field provided. You can buy them, or you can work for someone to receive one, like a role player, or you can find them in different supply cases that are already laid out all over the land. So if I'm dead, I can't stim pack myself, but I can have a buddy stim pack me with it. Or a stranger. I could say, I'll pay you 10 caps if you heal me with my stim pack. And then you guys just go by that. Don't ever lie to another person when you're out there. Or if you're desperate enough to get back in and not have to go to a spawn point because you're in a really great spot or something like that, that's when you can say, hey, if you stim pack me, I will give you my stim pack. And I don't know anyone that wouldn't do that, because stim packs are hard to come by sometimes. Many of the other details of the day will be given to you the day of, during briefing, announced outside in gameplay, or given to you through role players. We like to keep certain things a surprise, and we like to make certain things become a legend that certain people experience randomly, and then it builds from there. Some real quick details. You are allowed to camp out on the land overnight, as long as you give us a quick call ahead of time, maybe like 2 hours ahead of time before you come out. You can camp out Friday night and you can camp out Saturday night. There are 2 designated areas on the land that you guys can camp and that fires will be allowed to be had at. Admin will be watching over all of that, but just give us a shout out definitely before you do that. Also guys, Friday, the day before, the store is open all day and running till 10 o'clock at night. So definitely help out the field, come out, buy anything that you need from us, buy BBs, guns, whatever. It really helps us out, helps us build up the field and put on awesome events like this. That's the basis of everything that happens in Rev. I could talk for hours and hours of all the different things that have happened in Revs, and who knows what's going to happen this year. That's going to be determined by you, the player, the survivor out there, and how much you put into gameplay and how much of a self-starter that you are. With that in mind, guys, self-starting, the last thing I will leave you with on this, guys, seriously, is Revelations can be an absolute blast if you make it one. If you just expect everything to happen for you, that's not this event. If you want an event where you can do basically whatever you want, this is the event for you. That's why we made it. Don't be surprised when you show up. If you choose to hide inside of a stump in the middle of the swamp all day, that's what you'll do all day. Well, I'm sure you'll get killed a few times, but just keep that in mind. Make it interesting, contribute to it, and I cannot wait to see you guys out there. You can register at ballahackops.com. By the way, the price goes up on the 6th by $10. It would be $70 for one day and $100 for two. Before the 6th, $60 for one day, $90 for two, and then pre-reg is completely cut off on the 10th. We will then announce if walk-ons are allowed or if it is capped enough for us to say, let's not do that. I love you guys. Thanks for watching, and I really hope to see you at Revelations.